people actually still listen to this guy? We're going live from the underground. What up, YouTube? Topaz Yates back again, going live from the underground, man. Here we go in on particular topics during the week, and today I want to do some catch up because, you know, this past week the big albums that were allegedly to come out was Corday's joint, but then everybody was hyped about this Sweatshirt album, and I don't know why. Like, I actually spent the time of my life that I'm never going to get back and went on ahead and listened to this, knowing full damn well exactly how this was going to come out. Now, I still listen to everything just because you never know. You never know when you're going to get a good game out of a scrub off the bench. You feel me? Sometimes you just got to throw them in, see what they can do, see what matchups can happen, see if they've improved after all this time that they've had on the bench, trying to learn from other individuals. So maybe, just maybe, this sick album was going to be okay. Let's say moderately unwell. Let's say maybe he'll have a scratchy throat. Maybe He'll feel like he's about to get sick, but no. He is 100% healthy on this one. And sadly, I wish it just wasn't going in that direction. It is what it is, man. Like, why do people still listen to him? I don't get it. Like, his time has long passed. The time in which he was actually notable was before Odd Future pretty much got dismantled. That was the only time that I felt as though people actually should have listened to him because he was new, young. He was the next hyped up of a crew that had their own sound, that was doing their own thing. But now you realize, okay, they were all pretty much trash except for Tyler, the Creator. And Tyler, that's why Tyler is still somewhat relevant to this day, but he's more, like, you know, he's more into the comedy shows and things like that on Adult Swim. Like, that's how he's able to continuously push himself forward. Not so, well, even I'll give him some props for the music. He's a better producer than I originally thought he would be. He actually knows how to create quality music. He's just not that good of a rapper. But he is unique, though. Like, Tyler has some talent. The rest of them, nah. Like, you know what I realized while listening to this? This sick album is as if Silk the Shocker, yes, from No Limit Records, Silk the Shocker, if he happened to sign with another label, when No Limit fell apart and actually kept making music, realizing that his time should have long been gone. Like, the only reason why Silk the Shocker got put on is because he was along for the ride of the tank. Just like Sweatshirt here, he was only really along for the ride of Odd Future, and as they fell apart and not really doing anything like that and all that stuff, man, he has no purpose. Who keeps on giving this guy record labels, record deals? Who keep giving this guy money to make this trash? Like, why? See, people love to make excuses for trash MCs. And it's mainly because they have like an emotional attachment to them. Like, this is the person that you guys were listening to when you were just lames back in high school, when there was nothing else that you knew were actually any good. So because this was like the only thing that you listened to, therefore you just gonna ride with it to the end, ain't you? Like, you should by now have enough knowledge of music and new artists coming back and forth since you guys been in love with Odd Future. You should by now know there's a lot better out there. Cause come on, bruh. When you listen to this project, where's the improvement to what anything that he's done since he's came out? They came out back in 2007 on a mainstream level. They've been out before that. That's how they built up you as an audience. I understand this. But I'm just going based on 2007 when they first hit the scene. And I was telling you guys, these dudes is trash. 15 years ago, I told you these individuals are whack. On my old channel that got taken down, I was telling you this from the beginning. What improvement have we seen in the last 15 years? I'm seriously wondering. What is it that you guys actually care about this? Like, where has he gotten better? Because I'm not hearing it. Like, if you never learned how to flip a burger at McDonald's and claiming that it's your style to just burn the burgers, you would have been fired year one. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying here? He clearly never understood the foundations of what it takes to create quality music. Never learned it from the beginning, but yet somehow he's getting record deals. Like, this is the equivalency of how Russell Westbrook done tricked the Lakers into paying him $40 million a year. Like, this is how he fooled you into thinking that he should still have a record deal. Like, real talk, he should not be anywhere near music. He should honestly be doing something more in the background of the business. He should be helping others get put on with what notoriety he has left, because all of y'all still want to hype him up. Y'all still want to hype him up like he actually brings something to the table of music when he doesn't. But because of this, he should be using this to help others get put on. That should be his role. He should be understanding by now he just doesn't have what it takes to craft quality music. And I don't want to like crap on individuals' hopes and dreams and all of that stuff to becoming something, because he is a successful individual, because he got an audience and a fan base that follows him. That's the most important part here. But you can use that and not make music. Or at least you could take your time and figure out what you're doing wrong to actually make better music. Does that make any sense to anybody? I mean, you are in an industry of nothing but talented people, and you can't figure out how to get better. Like, what are you actually doing with your life? If you could be surrounded and involved and your name rings bells in circles of super talented people that you should clearly hear are far better than you, but yet you cannot sit down with any of these people and ask them, yo, how can I improve? How did you get to that level? No, you're so egocentric that you believe that you're to the peak or something, that you can't see improvement, that you are not like the worst rapper that has come out in quite some time. I mean, they're all worse. I'm not going to tell you that he's the absolute worst, but he's trash. He's down there with them. He's down there with your Playboy Cardi. And the reason why is because he's had every opportunity to learn how to be better and just chooses not to do it. Now, that's a whole nother level of garbage. There's some people that don't know any better. This person has had every opportunity, surrounded by all the talented acts, surrounded by a lot of really good people out there, dude. He still can't put it all together. Like, your job, your literal job, is to piece together quality music. Other people around you are piecing together quality music, and you can't pick their mind. You can't determine what it is that makes others individually good. And you adapt your whole game and you try to do better. You can't do any of that. Like, if he was smart, if Sweatshirt was actually smart, he would have long got him a ghostwriter so that he can learn the technicals. And then after you learn the technicals, you go off and do your own thing with it. That's what Lil Wayne did. And now everybody wants to consider him as potentially one of the best to ever do it. When we all know Block is Hot Lil Wayne, original Cash Money Lil Wayne was nowhere near a quality MC. He really got by off of hot production, rolling with the team of Cash Money, and just going out there doing him and making catchy hits, which there was nothing wrong with that. Honestly, that's some of my favorite stuff that Lil Wayne has ever done in his career. But you cannot deny the transition when he became a lyrical individual. How did he become this? The story has been well documented. Cash Money got Gilly the Kid, and they paid for ghostwriting, and Lil Wayne learned through the ghostwriting that he got with Gilly the Kid and realized, yo, this actually isn't all that difficult. I can do all of this. Now that I have an idea on how to do it, I can now put in my own creativity. I can now become my own MC. I can now take this to a whole nother level. Thank you, Gilly the Kid, for showing me the ropes. We're never going to pay you because we're Cash Money, whatever. But you provided the foundation to what Lil Wayne needed in order to learn how to become a good lyricist. Are you telling me that Sweatshirt can't do the same thing? And you want to know the worst part about it? He probably thinks that he's doing something still pioneering, next level, that's just beyond the comprehension of what everybody believes is good music. He probably thinks that he's good. Why? Because it's you fans. All of you fans who like to pole jock people because they're famous and this is the only person that you've heard, so therefore you're going to give him the utmost credit for this nonsense that he continues to put out. You're the reason why he's so trash to this day. You guys making him think that he's actually good. He actually truly, he probably deep down believes that he's a good rapper. And you guys allowed it to happen. Like, see, sometimes showing love to a person is telling them, no, don't do it like this. We need you to learn how to be great so you can be great, so your name can ring out, so that you can continue to get better, so that we can continue to push you, so that the game will ultimately respect you. But no, you guys is on some, oh, everything you touch is a classic. Everything that you've put out from the very beginning has never been, you've never disappointed. You've always been the best. This is the point of view that this Odd Future fan base has gone through, and you guys ruined these individuals who had the potential because they were surrounded by talent. They had the work ethic. They had the potential to be something much more than what they are now. Thankfully, Tyler, the Creator, actually has some natural born talent, one, and two, he does have the desire to continue to push to be great. He's the only one. The rest of them, the whole audience, the fan base, y'all ruined them. Like, sometimes you gotta bust that bubble of, yo, everything that you doing is next level. People just aren't ready. That's why you're getting such negative reviews, why people aren't rocking with you. Like that bubble that you've been in for 15 years. You still believe in that. You still believing that you're amazing. You still believing that you're somebody, that you're actually worth the time. You feel me? This was horrible. Absolutely horrible. And you guys let them get away with it. You let them skate with it for all this time. And now you're seeing why you shouldn't have. Now you're seeing that he's never progressed. He's never become anything more than what he ever was. He's never became a lyricist. He's never learned how to rap on a beat. He's never learned what is a quality production that he could, and that's something that he should have learned rocking with Tyler, the Creator. But when I listened to this album, there's not a single dope beat that I actually would have enjoyed. But yet when you go onto YouTube and you can search Earl Sweatshirt, and they'll have the type beats that he will select, and those joints be complete trash. But y'all keep on demanding it, so therefore gonna keep on going with it, even though clearly, this is like some of the worst stuff to come out, man. All you guys have done is ruin this person from potentially making something out of himself in music. See, if a person doesn't feel like they need help, they will never seek it out. Does that make sense? Only an individual who actually truly wants to be great, who actually tries to understand the fact that there are levels to everything that you have to actually achieve to get to the top, the ones who want to get there, those are the people that's always going to consistently want to learn, that's going to try to consistently push forward. Those are the people that are never done pushing until they feel as though, okay, there's nothing much more that they can offer. Not somebody like Sweatshirt. Somebody who feels he's already redeemed by the audience, the people telling him everything that he wants to hear, so therefore it gotta be true. I mean, Lil Wayne, go back to this example, he needed somebody like Gilly the Kid to show him the ropes once. He decided post the Manny Fresh Cash Money era, when they decided to go more in the gangster direction because 50 Cent came through and killed the game, these guys recognize, okay, the game has changed. How can we adapt? How can we get better? And Lil Wayne was at that point like, I want to be deemed as one of the best to have ever done it, so I have to shift gears and I'm going to do whatever it takes. Whether it's get ghostwriting, pay for this individual, learn how to write, learn how to record, learn everything about the basics so that I can become great. And he did it. But instead of that, you know what you made Sweatshirt into being? He's no more than a no swag, lesser version of Currency somehow, in which that's the only things that make Currency a worthwhile artist. The fact that he got a lot of swag and he comes through and has his own style on top of production, that's pretty cool. Like, that's what makes Currency last on. Even though he's not a good rapper either, but yet he makes it work with what skills and what he has around him. Sweatshirt has the envision that he's something that he's not, so he's going to continuously put out something that's completely and utter trash. Let's be honest, Facebook says, hey guys, remember this guy rated Gunna a 5 and rated Nas a 5, and then he said it's different 5 for Nas than Gunna. Clearly it is. So are you telling me you expect the same thing out of a Nas album as you would expect out of a Gunna album? Serious question. Who expects Gunna to make anything anywhere close to as good as Nas? Serious question. Who actually asked that? Like who actually will compare Gunna and Nas? A 5 for Nas is far better than a 5 for Gunna. That is point blank clear. And if you don't understand that, then you have no anticipation for anybody's music. You clearly are not a Nas fan if you think a Gunna 10 out of 10 will come close to a Nas, 6 out of 10. You are clearly not a Nas. You are clearly not a Nas fan if that's something that you believe. But back to the topic. See, I would love to sit up here, right here, and tell you, Sweatshirt does not deserve the opportunity that he received to actually be in the music industry, to be who he is at this point, where even though this was a complete trash of an album, doesn't shock me that he got a mainstream record label to support it, to help him promote it. Doesn't shock me in the slightest. See, we need to stop holding the music industry to a level of greatness and stuff like that, with the vast majority of artists to come out on major record labels are trash. Now, given there are some record labels that know what they're talking about, that know what they're doing, like Atlantic has consistently put out quality musicians. Not all of them, clearly. They have a lot of people that never really get on. They got a lot of people that they're just chasing fads and stuff. But yet, when it comes time for them to find the new talents that shape shift the way that the music industry goes, they typically do well. Aftermath, out there on the West Coast, that Dr. Dre was helping put out. He's no longer doing it, but there was a long period of time where Dr. Dre, Jimmy Iovine, these individuals helped mold the music industry to put out a lot of really good big name acts and stuff. Yes, but that's the minimum. You did. The vast majority of these record labels, man, they're just chasing after every fad, anything that got 100 million views on IG or something like that. Doesn't matter what the music sound like. As long as you got people looking at you, we're going to put you on. And that's why for a long time, people are finessing them just based off of the numbers. Like, that's why people was like, you know what? We can fake these numbers and go ahead and get us a record deal, because they're clearly not listening to the music. If they're clearly putting on people like Sweatshirt and all of this stuff, people who are not really good at the music but have an audience that they never even really checked into. If the label don't really check into, they just see that you got a lot of people looking at your stuff. Oh, they'll put you on. It's artists like Sweatshirt that allow that to happen. And because of this, I will say he fits the mold of the terrible rapper that only got put on because he's part of a larger wave. What other individuals are like that? Magoo. You remember Timbaland and Magoo? Magoo was on almost every joint, to the point that there's like, okay, Magoo must have something on Timbaland for him to constantly be getting put on to all of these records and stuff when he's clearly trash. But Timbaland clearly has the skills. He clearly has the ability to make the classics of all the rappers, and all the rappers want to come to him and get new material. But nobody wanted Magoo on them joints though. Who else, as an example that I gave you already? Silk the Shocker, who only got put on because he was along for the ride for the tank. The No Limit Soldiers were, No Limit wasn't the best of rappers. But that wave, dominated the music industry, and it made it happen. Like Master P wasn't an amazing musician either, but he actually made good music from make him say, na 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 na. Catchy songs that made the top of the Billboard chart, from the Ice Cream Man all of these things. And then the whole wave of them just working and dropping a new artist every month, it was next level. And they just needed artists to go ahead and deliver material. No matter how good or bad they was, they just needed something to fill in the slot so they can continue to push forward. Silk the Shocker filled in that need of just rolling, even though he was clearly a terrible rapper. Who else fit into this description? Tony Ayo of G Unit. Like, he only was there because 50 Cent, and I will give the rest of G Unit they props because they was good too. A Young Buck, Lloyd Banks, talented individuals, quality music that they was making, they just never really popped like that because they didn't have the motivation or the drive to actually do that. But yet the whole wave of 50 Cent, all of this paved the way for Tony Yayo to bring his trash rapping self out there for the people to actually clown. Same caliber of artists. Who else? Joel Santana. And I know a lot of people love Joel Santana, a lot of his stuff, but he was just the smartest one out of all of these terrible rappers. He was the one that said, you know what? Let me go ahead and get J.R. Writer to write the vast majority of the songs that I need to become hits. Let me go ahead and make sure that Just Blaze is producing the biggest records that I'm having. Like, when he got away from all of that, you realize exactly how bad he was as a rapper. How much he honestly had to ride the wave of others in order for him to still have a name to this day that people actually care about, to the point that he gets clowned at the versus battles because he thought he was actually somebody. He thought he was going to make it through and Jadakiss and the Lox wasn't going to kill him. And I thought, Joel Santana and his hits would carry them over. But nah. Clearly, they were out of their element and Joel Santana and his antics was more of a negative to them than a positive. Point blank, period. Who else fits into this mold? Bizarre from D12, even though I do believe the entirety of D12 were ride-alongs that weren't really good, that were only there because Eminem's wave was so massive, but yet you got to take your hat off to Bizarre because he was the worst of them all. How he was that bad was amazing. Like, he honestly had to fight hard. He had to really, really go above and beyond in order to be that bad. He had to be amazingly horrible in order to reach that level of being terrible to the degree that his name lives on in infamy. People recognize who he is and how trash he has always been. This is the list in which you guys allowed Sweatshirt to be a part of. Why? Because you boosted up his head, making him believe how amazing he is, instead of some realistic, real talk to somebody who could have really used it. And there are others, newer artists out there right now, like Playboy Cardi could really use a come to earth moment right now. Instead, his fans are already putting him on this list. He's so full of himself that he thinks he can just get away with anything. But he's soon to make this list. And as much as I like that she puts forth effort, Coi Leray is beginning to look like she's going, Coi Leray doesn't have like a wave that she's riding. She's creating her own. So Coi Leray, even though she's not a very good rapper and all that stuff, she's better than these people because she's doing it on her own. Wow. These people were surrounded by quality musicians. They were put into the game. And because they were riding the biggest wave that there is, they had the opportunity to become better, just like how Lil Wayne had the opportunity to become better and he took it. The rest of them are denying the fact that they even need it. The frustrations that I can see the producers who have to sit up here and record you. Like, that is unbelievable. Like, come on, bro. Like, who really wants to sit down and record Sweatshirt, even though you can tell he can't do anything in one take? He clearly is not putting forth any effort, any work at all to become a good MC. He's just still riding the wave of what was popping back in 2007, forgive me, 2007. Still riding the wave of that. No adjustments. You're not getting any new caliber beats. You're not updating your style. You don't even have a style. You're just trash on a whole nother level, and you're so bad, people claim that it's a style. All of your fans are going to continue to cop pleas for you, continue to go ahead and tell you, yo, it's not so bad. The way that you rapping, man, that's just your own individual style. That's just how you rap. And that's hot. Like, no, it's not. This is just somebody who doesn't take the game serious enough in order to do anything at all. Creatively, musically. You haven't put forth any effort to become good. This is the result of that. And your fan base, the pole jockeys that they are and that they've always been, these people will never let it go. They will always deem you as, amazing for some reason? They're always going to deem you as somebody who actually had potential, when I was telling you years ago, if he doesn't work on any of this stuff, he will not have any potential. He will squander any opportunity that he has. And little did we see, after all this time, that's exactly what happened. All of the talent, quote unquote talent, the quote unquote opportunity to develop a dynasty, I guess, to develop something much more than what we're already seeing, all of the ability for them to try to do that, all up in smoke. All up in smoke to the point that there's only one person out of all of them that actually still has a career, to be real. One that we can actually respect, and it's Tyler. Like, Tyler's albums actually, Tyler won a Grammy. As much as I will go against it, as much as I will argue with it, Sweatshirt ain't winning nothing. His time in the sun has long passed, and he was only in the sun because everybody was hyping them, and it was a team effort that put them there, and he wasted the opportunity that he had to actually make something of himself. Just because you sign a record deal or you along for the wave doesn't mean that you don't have to get better. Every day, you have to get better. Doesn't matter where you're at. Doesn't matter if you are an underground MC still trying to get put on in the game. Doesn't matter if you're somebody who's new to the game. Doesn't matter if you're Nas. If you're going to continuously drop music, if you're going to continuously put out new stuff, then you need to be continuously pushing forward, continuously finding new sounds, continuously trying to become the best individual musician that you can be. There's never going to be a point where you're in this game that you're done growing, that you're done progressing, that you're done being who you need to be. There's never going to be the point where you're finished. The only time when you are finished is when you give up. when you feel as though, you know what, I don't feel as though I need to make anything more. My legacy is well intact. People just gonna continue to listen to me because I'm Sweatshirt of Odd Future. You remember? You remember what we was doing back in 2015? That's who I am. When you rest on your past like that, and you don't show any growth, when you don't even show that you care about making music enough to learn the core fundamentals of what it takes to become a quality musician, then you're always going to be trash. And Sweatshirt's whole longevity, if that's what you want to call it, his continued attempt at doing music, it just showcases this 1,000%, man. 1,000%. This is pathetic. This album was pathetic all the way through. Why I gave this joint a 1 out of 10. And is it because I was expecting anything? No. The bar was already so low and he couldn't lift it. He's looking like Kevin Durant in the weight room, dude. That's how much he can't lift the bar. Like, bruh, like, if you just selected a interesting production, one interesting production, I think the level that I would have gave it would have been better. But he can't even do that right. Like, you don't know what a good beat sounds like. Still, after all this time. Are you serious? How many great beats have they been around? How many great beats have Tyler, the Creator, created? I can name quite a few from, like, say, Cherry Bomb, the album, where they actually got keys in it, where they got actual guitar licks, where they actually put forth the ability to make top-level quality music. These are the people that he's been around for, like, forever. And he still hasn't figured it out. And why hasn't he figured it out? Again, it's fans like y'all. Y'all just, I'm borderline believing that y'all just wanted him to fail. You feel me? Like, people who just let you get away with the nonsense that you be pulling. It's almost as if you want him to lose. So therefore, you just let him do whatever he wants to do. But no, that's not the reality. The reality is y'all felt some kind of camaraderie. Maybe some of you hoped, oh, maybe if I could just meet them, they'll put me on too. If I just continue just to big him up and never give him the realities of what he's talking about, maybe he'll like me. When, bruh, like, we as a community, we need to tell these people the wrong directions in which they are going. And it's not out of hate. It's out of love. It's out of, yo, we want you to be great. But in order for you to be great, we gotta bust you out of this whole mentality that you can't do no wrong, that everything you're touching is turning to gold, that all of these people out here are really rocking with your music, not because you're infamous, not because there's a potential that, you know, they can get recognized by you. No. We need people to actually listen and enjoy music for what music is. People need, just like how rappers need to work on becoming better rappers, it's the same thing on why fans need to work on listening to getting their ears for music better. A good ear for music doesn't just happen. You have to listen to an abundance of different types of music. And then once you do that, then you'll be able to compare and contrast. You'll be able to determine, okay, who actually knows what they're doing. What quality of works are actually out there, just based off of, I listen to music all the time. I understand where these individuals are going wrong when they can't rap on beat. Instead of just saying, oh, that's just their style, let it rock. No. There's so many other rappers out here who's not getting an opportunity, who know how to rap on beat, who's doing far better music than Sweatshirt has ever done in his life. But because you guys don't want to work on your ear for music, they never gonna get a shot. Y'all are the ones who always want to talk about why music is so bad, but yet you don't know good music if it slaps you in your face. It's audiences like this that allow people to be trash. And because of that, you get taken advantage of by the music industry, who does not care if the music is good or bad. They don't. They sincerely do not care if the music is good or bad. But because you are just going to rock with it anyway, they feel as though they can get away with this. Therefore, the bulk load of all the music that you're going to come across is going to be terrible, and they have an argument on why they feel as though it can still work. You guys are just as bad as the Nas fans, as we're seeing, let's be honest, face FB in the chat room. We're seeing exactly how bad Nas fans are, because he actively compared his favorite rapper his favorite rapper Nas to Gunna, not realizing that there's two different levels to this. There's multiple different levels to this. But he doesn't understand that because he's not a fan of music. He has no idea what quality music is. So he will make absurd statements like that. While you guys don't know anything about quality music, so anything that anybody gives you that's hyped up to a degree, these are the people that you're going to go along with regardless of whatever they release. Doesn't matter, it's great to you. The more you listen to music, the better understanding you have of music, the more you'll be able to tell someone, yo, you could do better at this. If you work on it in this direction, if you go ahead and get you a ghostwriter like Lil Wayne did, if you can go ahead and learn the basic core fundamentals, then you too can be great. Everyone has the ability to learn. Everyone has that. So therefore, everyone has the ability to actually craft great music. There's no excuse for Sweatshirt to be making terrible music for 15 years. And no excuse for all of you fans to be riding with him for all this time, and you still haven't said anything about, you know what, maybe you should switch up your game a little bit. Maybe you should go ahead and get a little better. Maybe you should be able to push forward to make music better as a whole instead of being stuck in the same kinds of music that you've been doing for so long and never growing as an individual. If the fans of music actually become knowledgeable fans of music, then you won't just buy everything that the music industry is force feeding upon you. Now, yes, individuals like Sweatshirt will lose their job because of that. That is quite honestly a liability. That can quite easily happen here. But it would be worthwhile if Sweatshirt in general and artists like him, as I went through and gave people the list, I see somebody just came into the whole chat again. The list of people who fit along this line is Magoo, Timberland and Magoo. Nobody cares about Magoo. Silk the Shocker, who was there with No Limit and the No Limit Soldiers and all that stuff. He was the worst of them all. Tony Yayo, the worst to come out of G Unit, never learned how to get good music. Bizarre, the worst out of D12. These are all the people that Sweatshirt really fits in with, and it's all your fault as fans. Instead of schooling him to become great, instead of allowing him to execute on his potential, instead of actually giving him a chance, y'all filled up his head with hopes and understanding that, oh, you already great. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to learn the basic core fundamentals of what all rappers have to learn back from middle school days, that not all have to learn it, but most people that I come across that's a good rapper, they learned how to rap in middle school. Man, I tell you this, I have been teaching my nephew like through school, and his classes are teaching him how to write poetry. And as I look at it, I'm like, yo, they just teaching you how to rap. If Sweatshirt just learned anything from that course, then he would be a 10 times better rapper. JB. So am I saying that he's the worst in Odd Future? Of all of the ones that people really bring notoriety to, yes. Like, there's some decent ones that didn't really get the super shine. What's his name? Damn, I can't think of his name. Hold on. Let me pull it up on. Let's say, Domo Genesis was like one of the better ones in the whole gang, you dig, that he never really got his shot. Way better than Sweatshirt. Frank Ocean, regardless of how you feel about him, far superior to Sweatshirt, dog. I'll take Haji, Casey Veggies before him too. And I'm not even fans of them. Like, yeah. Like, the rest of them really didn't get that much notoriety to even consider them. But of all of them that actually did get notoriety, all of them who actually did get mainstream notoriety, Sweatshirt is the worst of them all. Point blank, period. And there was some actual talent there. There was some actual talent on this label, but it really didn't come together like many people would have hoped. You feel me? I think Tyler, the Creator, easily was the most talented of all of them. And you see his continued progression and the fact that he constantly is changing and his music is still getting acclaimed to this point. He was clearly, of all the ones that reached notoriety, he was clearly the best. Domo Genesis, I think he was the best of those who didn't make the notoriety. But there was a lot of dudes in there, man, that wasn't very good. JB is saying that Jasper is the worst, to be honest. I never really listened to Jasper. I really don't even know what he brought to the table to be 1,000 with you. That's why I am offsetting it with those who was making the notoriety. You dig? But it is what it is, though, man. It is what it is. I'm hoping that we're seeing that the whole brand of Odd Future is not even really a brand of Odd Future no more. But how all of this worked, how all of this went about, I'm hoping that we as a culture will do better. You dig? Like, continue to call out individuals like, say, what's his name? Blueface with Tatiana, how the culture was going at him like, man, you're like one of the worst rappers we've ever heard to come out. Like, we need more of that. Regardless of how much they dislike the fact that you keeping it real with them, they need it because the game needs to be better. The music industry as a whole, the more we allow the trash artists to just skate by because they're along for a wave and they're getting promoted by mainstream, and people just want to believe that they're good instead of looking at the core fundamentals. Like, the more people are calling these people out, the better music is going to be in the long haul. It's necessary for us as a culture to learn what is good music, to analyze what are lyrics instead of just going off with whatever these people are saying. Like, they're saying things for a reason. Punchlines exist. Delivery, flow, all of these things are key things to making a good MC. If you're not going to hold anyone accountable, if you're not going to hold the record labels accountable on top of that, then all the complaining that you get from all of the Nas fans, oh, real hip hop is dead, and from later fans like, oh, we're not getting any quality musicians, all of the music is sounding the same. This is why. Looking at you, T-Pain. T-Pain wants to complain about why all the rappers are doing the same thing, why all the rappers out here are trash, why nobody is really all that talented. This is why. Nobody knows quality music because you don't work on understanding quality music. You just pick up on whoever it is you feel as though is a good musician, a good rapper, but you have nothing to compare them to. You don't listen to past great music. You just listen to whatever new hype is coming up because the record label's telling you to, because you're a sheep. So therefore, if all you're going to do is listen to what these people are going to force feed you, because that's the only reason why they're putting out music, so that they can make money, not so much so that they can build upon the music industry, build upon it to become something greater than what it is. Record labels don't care. They trying to get their bag. You're the one who's going to continue to buy it and continue to complain. You know what that is like? It's like crackheads on the streets. People who are chasing after drugs, chasing after a high that they're never going to get again. But then you're going to continue to complain about what you're getting. But instead of, you know what, let me just stop doing these drugs, what you do is buy 2 to 3 times more, hoping that the next one is going to be the one to get me to where it's at because I am addicted to it. Whatever it is anybody is selling to me, I got to buy it because hopefully I will get whatever it is I want to. But you're clearly not getting anything of the caliber that you think it should have, and you're blowing all of your money on stuff that clearly ain't gonna get you to where you want to be. You're giving no incentive for these people to do better. You're giving no incentive at all. You're allowing them to be bad, and you're allowing them to continue to be super profitable because you don't know no better. At least drug addicts are literally addicted. Their body has to take that. You are just lazy. You clearly just don't care enough about music that you claim that you care for. You don't care enough about music to actually listen to people who are actually coming up that's actually any good. Instead, You're just spoon-fed whatever the record labels are giving you. Then you want to complain about why music is bad, but then you're going to go ahead and listen to the next one that they spoon-fed you to. You're not giving these people any reason to do better. Music is going to continuously get worse and continuously push on. Like, music right now is actually more profitable than it ever was because they're not giving away whole units. They're not investing time, money, effort, and putting money on actual units. You dig? Like, when you don't have to pay the big time price to record things in the studio, then and then they end up selling 100 million streams and all of that stuff. And then nobody actually owns holds it, and then you can sell it for, like, you can use it to promote other things like McDonald's and all that stuff. You get weak rappers like Saweetie having her music be the face of McDonald's dollar menus and all that stuff, and they get money off of that. Like, what's the incentive for them to actually do anything of quality when they can turn any trash rapper into someone who's getting a lot of views and flip that views into actually money because they own the masses? And what is the incentive for them to actually give you, the artists, the masters? Where's the incentive for that? When they could just, you know what? It doesn't matter if you don't like the music and anything that we're putting out there. Doesn't matter if you don't like any of that. We'll just put out somebody else. There's a million rappers out here that'll take a rape deal that nobody should ever sign. Million rappers that'll do that. Doesn't matter. The music will come out absolutely garbage, like Sweatshirt's whole album comes out absolute garbage, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna force it upon the people. You're gonna listen to it because we, the record label, say you're going to listen to it. Because the money that we put behind it, the fact that the stream levels is gonna be on the level of the stream level, and if it catches on, it catches on. We can sell it. Doesn't matter. We're gonna make our money regardless. Why should we actually try? Why should we actually go through the hard work of filtering through millions of people to find us somebody who actually does have the talent that we can groom into becoming so much more? Why go through all of that when we can reap those same benefits without even trying? Because all of y'all are just going to listen to whatever it is we tell you to listen to. Like, why would anybody do it? As long as you guys are just like the fan base of the Odd Future, that's the caliber of music we're going to continuously get. Blame yourself. Blame your damn self for allowing it to happen. And things are not going to get no better until a good collection of us, not all of us, we're talking a good collection of us, actually will go from artist to artist to artist to figure out, like, okay, if a good collection of us actually care about music enough that we will only listen to quality musicians, like, sure, we'll listen to an artist that is new, hyped, and all that stuff, but we're not going to continuously listen to it because it's the only thing that's there. No, but we're going to go out, put our money where our mouths are. We're going to go out and seek out the best individual acts that we can and enjoy quality music for being quality music. That's what it's going to take for music and this music industry to actually get back into the business of putting out quality music. But right now, they're just in the business of putting out whatever it is they feel as though could be hype. Doesn't matter if it's good, bad, whatever. Doesn't matter. They don't care. And the people out here, people don't care either. But that's it for today's show, man. I appreciate everybody who came through. People, all the playbacks out there, all the people that's in the chat, man. Everybody out there, I appreciate y'all, man. Probably won't be doing any videos this weekend, but we'll see. We'll see whatever happens, man, if I got the time. But I appreciate everybody, man. We're going to keep it pushing. Hopefully next week there's going to be better music to come out in a minute.